Hi guys, this is Vijay. So today we are going to talk about the ACI multipod setup. So this is the topology I have. I have two IPN devices. That's the basic requirement for the multipod setup. I have three epics which are connected to the port one. And on this port, I already have that everything is up and running. So I'm going to connect these two interface 1/20, 1/20 putty interface using the VLAN encapsulation on .4. And towards the spine IPN devices, I have Juniper IP, which is running the OSPF area 0. PIM we are running, MTU sizes one running. We are running the DSCP relay on these interfaces. Okay. So let me show that the configuration template which I used for the uh, multi IPN configuration. So this is the template I have. This is the template I have. And this is the setup I have. I have here it's showing a two IPN, but each side I have one IPN and they are interconnected. If I go to the this IPN configuration and I show you that what configuration has been done. So if I open my slide, this one on this IPN side, you can see here. Oh, sorry. In this side, you can see here these are the features which I have enabled on the device. But this is all, we have converted this configuration into the Juniper configuration. I have one loopback address for OSPF routing, and this is the one. Sorry. Yeah. On the IPN one, if you see that these are the configuration, I'm using the 1/4, 1.1 and 2 and 3. 1.1 is connecting to the spine one in the DC one. 1.2 is to spine 2. 1.3 is between the IPN devices. 1.1, I'm using the DSCP relay, PIM, OSPF, point-to-point/30. This is the IPN port. Same thing for the IPN 2. And I'm also using that this VLAN encapsulation .4 between the IPN devices. Either you can use .4, .5, .10, anything you can use that. Then I am configuring that Pentam RP between the IPN 1, IPN 2. IPN 1 is my primary multicast randomized point. Then in the secondary, I'm using the same IP with the /29 in the other side, which is the port 2 IPN. Everything is same. Then I'm using this IP address such a RP. I'm using this as a bridge domain IP address, which is the geo IP address. Then I'm using this one for the any sort of unknown unicast traffic. Okay, this is all the configuration I have, and let's start the configuration. So if you see to the spine switch is already connected here. So if I log into this spine, if I just show LLDP neighbor is already discovered. So before we discover that there are some prerequisites for this IPN configuration. So what is the prerequisite? We must have that few IP address which uh, need for this kind of a setup, to tab address which need this kind of setup. So I already have this setup. Okay. So if you see here, I have this tab value is already configured inside this Epic. So do not need this tab. For the new tab discovery, I'm using this tab tool. For the MPBGP EVPN connectivity, I'm using the tab number 1 for this side. Tab number 2 is for this one. This must be the /22 or /24/27. It should not be less than that. That's a prerequisite. And this IP address is /31 I'm using for now. Okay, this is the seed port. Let me log into the port and show that. So if I go to my lab, this one. If I go to the lab, I have one epic I have removed and shifted to somewhere else. So I have just two epic. If I go to my epic now, okay, this is the label. If I exit it, if I say ACI, it's like AB read. What is exactly running? If you see here, you will see all the three epics are running. This is the tab tool I have. This is the in-band address, which is going to be DSCP relay agent configuration. You can see the DSCP relay configuration. That these are the IP address which we are using for the DSCP relay configuration. If you see that, these are the IP addresses. Which this is Cisco epic in-band address, not the out-of-band. So just remember that. And if we'll log into the spine switch, CI FNV read SSH spine 1, for example, here. Oh, sorry, SSH host name, not the spine 1. If I do configuration, if I do show LLDP neighbor, already VSH, I already have the physical connectivity on the seed side. Okay, so LLDP neighbor. If you see here, I have IPN devices connected to this interface. Now, what I will do is I will configure into the two phases. First phase is I will configure the OSPF between the port 1 and IPN, between here to here, OSPF. Then in the second phase, I will allocate the configuration for this port, OSPF. Okay, this configuration is already done for me. And the moment you will done that, so these devices will be automatically start discovering inside the fabric using the DHCP relay configuration. Okay, so if I go to the, I have not configured any, just to make sure that I have not configured any access policy for this configuration. So this configuration access policy will be automatically done through the APIC itself while configuring the multi-port setup. Okay, so if I go to the tenant and infra tenant, just give a second. Let me open my IP address seed. Now, if I go to the fabric or the tenant, in the fabric, what I will do here is I will click the quick setup. I will do the add port. And add port, you can do multi-port setup from here, but multi-site you cannot do from the APIC. That need to be done through the MSO devices. Okay. So if I go to this, I will add port. In the add port, what I will do here is I say add port. In the add port saying that connect the physical connectivity between the port 1 and the IP. Okay, that's the first set of configuration. Get started. I will say the which spine switch. I have two spine switches, which are spine 1 and spine 2. If I show this, I have two spine 1, spine 2, which is connecting towards the port number 120. Port number 120 towards the IPN devices. Excuse me. And I have the IP address, which is /31. This is the IP address I have. I'm going to use 9,000 because either side is 9,000. Then I will say that 1/2 spine. This spine also using that. This MTU, I'm going to use this IP address. Other side is already configured. I'm going to use the 9,000. Then I will say that next. Next, I will say that if you see that OSPF, I'm not using anything customized. I'm using the OSPF regular area, which is a recommended option. And the OSPF policy, I'm going to use point to point. And in the point to point, these are the configuration I have. I have MTU ignore, which is okay. I don't want to bother about MTU. Then next, before that, if you see here, BGP, MPBGP, this is the MPGP full mesh setup I have. So I'm going to use default. I don't want to change anything. If you see the tab, so this is the default port 1 tab address, okay, which already I already have this tab address assigned to the port here. Okay, this one tab address. So second tab address, what is external tab address? This is the routable tab address, which will be used for the MPBGP eVPN configuration between the two sites. Okay, MPBGP eVPN configuration between two sites using this address. There are a couple of things which will be assigned, couple of IP address. Let me show that what IP address will be assigned using this one. mainly data plane address and routing router ID. These kind of stuff will be assigned using these address. If I go to this one, look here, this one. So using this external tap pool address, VTAP address will data plane tap address, anycast tap address, and router ID will be assigned. These are the some major things will be here. And for the if you have the multi-port with the two epic nodes, okay. Suppose for example you have the multi-port and you have one epic here also connected. You remove from here, you shift it here. So there are some criteria which need to be matched. First thing is what should be same and what should not be the same between the epics. So what you have to do here is you have to make sure that few parameters are same. So like this one. So fabric ID must be same between both side epic, infra must be same, tap pool must be same. Okay, so port one tap pool must be configured in the port through ACI multi-port epic. Then you should have the external pool should be unique and geo IP must be same. These are the some criteria which must be the same across the uh, multi-port epic clusters. If I go and run this command, I'm sorry. If I go to the epic and run this command, these are all the informations I have. Saying that this is the epic name, this is the tab pool, this is geo IP, this is the infra VLAN, this is the cluster size, this is the firmware version. All these things are defining here. Okay, so I will say that external pool I have with me. So external pool, which going to be this one. The moment I put here, everything will be automatically distributed. If I go to previous, I want to check the interface configuration to make sure that I have configured the rightly. Okay, perfect. So if I go to the next, this is the moment I will say next here, you will see that all the access policy will be automatically configured for the a bit for the ACI. Even VLAN pool, layer 3 domain, access AAP policy, all the policy will be automatically created. If the once you finish this task, say that spine cannot create access policy object. Okay, so if I say that some testing thing is already did that, and due to that some access policy is already created, so let me remove that access policy. So make sure that your access policy is not conflicting. If you are using the conflicting access policy, so make sure that you remove that access policy. Okay. So if I go to the policy, global, make sure you don't have interface policy, spine. Okay, so these policy groups are created. That is the reason. So let me remove this. So this access policy group will be automatically created defaultly. If you have created, just use that same name. Okay, so if I go here, it is also created here, this one. So let me remove this. Okay, they were created. So if I go finish, if I go here, if I go 5, which is okay. So just give me a second. Let me check one more thing. I did some practical. That was the so if I go to the tenant and the infra tenant, I might have done something earlier for testing. That is the only reason it is creating the issue. So make sure don't have layer 3 out, which is okay. Says that. So what I will do here, I will change to the like 6 and to 7. What I will do here is do this also for 8. Just give a second. Let me fix that and resolve this. Okay, so port 1 configuration is OSPF neighborship is done. If you see that this is OSPF is established. So if I go to the spine of the port 1, I should have the OSPF neighborship between the spine 1 and spine 2 and the IPN. So from here to here, if I go here, from here to here, spine should be up with the OSPF. And once this is done, then I will add the port 2. In port 2, I have port 1/21. So what I will do here is I will go to here. I will add the port, physical port. And you can see that all the multi-port policy will be already created. You can see here, this time is showing that this to this connectivity. Once this to this will form, automatically MPBGP will be formed. This time is saying that make sure that you have the proper QoS configuration, which do not need to worry about. Then I will say which port I want to discover. If I want to discover any port, what should be the port ID? I will get port 2. What is the tab pool address? So I'm going to give my different tab address, which is this tab address will be used for the APIC will use for the IP address assignment for the port 2 leaf and spine. I will give this leaf spine ID. Why this spine ID? You can give any random IP address. Your ID doesn't matter. But make sure that while discovering that you match this ID. I will use this IP address. I will use then 9,000. Then I will use another. I will give another spine ID 102. Then I will say that I will use this IP address .4. Then 1/21. Then I will use 9,000. The moment I will click here, next, it will ask for interface policy. I will use same what I have used. Next, it will ask for the external tab for the fabric 2. So fabric 1, I have assigned the external tab pool. Fabric 2, I need to assign again routable address. So look here, what is say that? It should be slash between /22/27 it should be. Okay, I assign that now. Next, before clicking the next, I want to check the OSPF neighborhood. It is up between port 1 and port IPN. If I go to the finish, the moment I say finish, what is saying that? Saying that the configuration push trigger to bear, it might server give for the new connection established. Says that this is the your all the access policies created. I will say next. If I go to the access policy, in the access policy, all the access policy must be created. L2 domain has been created. VLAN pool has been created. Look, this one. This pool has been created, VLAN 4. Then I have AIP has been created for all the spine and the one multi-port. Then all the interface policy, port for your switch profile, all the things has been created for the spine, not for the leaf. Spine, not for the leaf. This one. If I go to the port profile, look here, this has been created. So everything is access policy is automatically created. Once this is done, if you see that so IP route, VRS overlay 1. All the routes must be receiving here. Look here. Saying that this route is receiving as well as a lot of ISIs and things are happening here. Even these are the OSPF routes and OSPF route and ISIF route, they are distributing. So what is happening here is between here to here, OSPF to ISR, there is distribution happening, mutually happening on the here. You do not have to do anything. Then once the distribution happen, once this APIC is reachable from this interface, this should generate the DSCP request, DSCP relay request. On this interface, I have this APIC IP addresses. They will redirect to the APIC directly. So I should able to see that in the discovery interface. If I go to the access policy, inventory fabric member, even before fabric member, if I say the port here, I have added 2 port here, 1 port extra created. If I say fabric membership, if I go to the pending node, in the pending node, you will see the 2 spine switches. already discovered. If I say register, and I will say that node 201, and also give that some specific name, which I like to give that. Let me use the specific name for this. What should be the name? Just give me a second. Such name. Let me figure it out. What should be the name for my spine switches, new spine switches, which I want to register. And allow me to, I will be back. Okay, so I have my switches. So I will say PSR. This is my leaf switch, spine switch name. The role is spine. Okay, then I will select port number 2. I will say register. The same thing I will do for the spine 2. I will say port number 2, and the spine is 202. Okay, spine is 202. Then I will give my switch to name spine 2. Done. Once you see that, discovery should be starting here, and it will automatically push the configuration. Even say discovery 1 is starting, 1 is unknown. So once the discovery is done, you will get the SSL certificate, and you will get all the IP address from the tab pool. We'll go to here. Just wait for a few minutes. What is doing here is this Epic. Epic is trying to push all the configuration. Epic is trying to put the OSPF configuration here. Once the OSPF configuration is done, then it will establish the MPPGP. Then it will establish in the database. Then all the configuration, whatever is available here, tenant, VRF, BD, everything will be available here also. Okay, except the access policy for the leaf and leaf switches. So if you see them, discovery, so wait for a few minutes, it will discover. So I will pause the video. Once the discovery is done, I will record it. Yeah, it is visible now. So it will take a few minutes. Yeah, this is how you do the multi-port configuration. I hope you this video is informative. We'll see you in next session. If you see the overall topology section, in the topology section, go to the topology. You will see that all the set of 2 ports. Look here, and it will have the details. Thanks for watching. See you in next session.